What is going on, everyone? It has been Lone Vault Wanderer, and you're probably wondering where the fuck I've been, at least if you haven't been following me on Twitter, tweeting about my escapades moving into my new apartment. And I also mentioned it in the last video that I made, but not many people watched that video. So yes, I've been moving into my new apartment. It's been a completely hellacious project, to be honest. I mean, it's been essentially me doing everything. I had to move all of my current shit to my new apartment. I had to buy a bunch of IKEA furniture and assemble it, get a fridge delivered, get a mattress delivered, assemble the fucking bed frame too. And aside from getting help from my dad delivering a couch and also a bunch of shit from my original home, which is about 3 to 4 hours away, it was all me. So I've been busting my ass to get this apartment up and running so I can actually start making videos again. And I'm finally almost at that stage. The last thing that I need to do after fucking mopping and vacuuming my apartment is getting all of my Fallout merchandise set up, which I didn't actually have with me where I am now. They were all back home and I've picked them up again. I'm very happy to have my Fallout Pip-Boy and all of that. So I know that's a bit of a lengthy explanation, but I want to let you all know what's been happening with me and why I've been away and incognito for a week, because I usually don't go a week without making a video. So please accept my apology, but if you want to keep updated with me, as always, follow me on Twitter. The link is in the description below. And also as well, just bear in mind, it might sound a bit echoey in the room that I'm in now, and that's only really because, one, it has very high ceilings, but two, I don't have my acoustic foam set up and I have a box of it waiting just to be chucked onto the wall. That's going to be something that'll take some time as well. So again, bear with me. But anyways, a bit of echo, nothing wrong with that. So as you all know, Skyrim Special Edition is coming out next Friday on the 28th of October. And I'm pretty excited for it. And there's a specific reason why I'm actually pretty excited for it. Some of you could probably guess, but most of you probably don't know. I haven't really played Skyrim, and this is going to be a bit of a confession that I make now, and I'll be pretty open and honest with it. So on Steam now, if you look at my account and you look at how many hours I've played Skyrim, it says I've played it for about 30 hours. Now, to be completely frank with you, most of those hours were either modding the game and testing out mods, and in conjunction with that, creating videos on Skyrim. In the past, I used to do some Skyrim modded videos, and also as well, I've been always wanting to get into Skyrim, so I've modded it twice now actually. Once, in fact, to get me used to modding. I think it was the very first game, no, it was the second game after Fallout 3 that I modded, and I followed Gopher's guides on it. And I really wanted to get into the game then, and never panned out, and then I had to update my Nexus software, and it completely stuffed all my mods. So I wanted to play it again, reinstalled all my mods. So all of that process takes a fairly lengthy time. And not to mention, you know, some of the time that I actually did spend playing the game, but it was definitely the minority. I honestly reckon that the time that I've actually spent in Skyrim, playing the game, questing, is probably like 5 to 10 hours, and hence the title of this video, my confession about Skyrim Special Edition. And some of you might be thinking, well, Lone, you've barely played Skyrim like at all. You haven't even scratched the surface. To finish the main quest itself, I think takes 20 to 30 hours or something like that. And then of course there are the side quests, etc., multiple playthroughs. Like your typical Skyrim player would play at the very least over 50 hours, and your hardcore ones, hundreds if not thousands of hours. So I've barely played Skyrim. But some of you might be asking, Lone, you've made videos on Skyrim, you've made modding videos on Skyrim, you've made news videos on Skyrim, so I kind of just gathered that you are a Skyrim fan. And this is me being honest here, I kind of just fell into making Skyrim videos and Elder Scrolls videos because of my fan base and because of my audience. As you all know, I predominantly built my audience on Fallout 4 news. My channel, the very first video was on Fallout 4, and most of my content and the way that I've grown the fastest is by creating Fallout 4 content. And that's nothing really surprising, but once Fallout 4 content started to die down, I had to think of ways to keep my audience engaged and to keep them clicking on my videos. And the obvious jump that I made was to making Elder Scrolls and specifically Skyrim videos, because as you all would be very well aware of, the Elder Scrolls and the Fallout audiences cross over to a very large extent, and I honestly took advantage of that. Even though I had rarely played Skyrim, I had modded it twice fully with the full intentions of playing it, but life kept getting in the way, things keep getting in the way, predominantly work and trying to make videos and stay on top of things, and also my lack of commitment to sticking to one fucking game. And this is a problem that I've been having generally with video games, and I'm trying to fucking fix that, but things seemingly keep popping up, like moving into a new apartment, for example. So I never got the chance to play through Skyrim to any extent, or to any large extent, or even minor extent for that matter, after I modded it on 2 different occasions. So I was making videos, and I've been making videos on Skyrim Special Edition for a while, even though while I could easily see myself as being an Elder Scrolls fan and a Skyrim fan, I think it fits me perfectly, especially because I'm a Fallout fan and I love those kind of open world style RPGs, and also just the lore and the theme of Skyrim and Elder Scrolls. I think it's very fascinating and interesting. But even though I know I'd be a strong fan of Skyrim and Elder Scrolls, the fact that I've barely played even one game doesn't give me the right to call myself a fan. Doesn't really give me the right to actually, to be honest, start making a lot of videos and start talking about Skyrim and Elder Scrolls like I know what I'm talking about. Because the reality is, I do know a hell of a lot about modding Skyrim, but I don't really know much about the game itself. And you'll notice that a lot of the videos that I make about Elder Scrolls aren't really talking about the story of the game or the theme of the game. I kind of just talk loosely around the game itself. And again, that's me being honest here, taking advantage of the fact that my audience would like Elder Scrolls videos because they liked my Fallout videos. And is it something that I necessarily regret? To be honest, no, I don't necessarily regret making videos on Skyrim. What I regret is not playing the fucking game. And this takes me to Skyrim Special Edition. This is my chance, if I'm ever gonna fucking play through this game and get over this hurdle and this hump of mine where I just simply can't sit down and play a game, Skyrim Special Edition is going to be that game for me. I'm not going to worry about modding. I'm not going to worry about continuously adding more mods, because it seems like every time I tried to play those previous versions, I would sit down, see what mods there are, install them, and then never play the fucking game. I would just spend all of my time modding. And yes, the majority of my time in Skyrim was testing and experimenting with new mods without ever actually questing, which might sound absurd to some people, but that was the reality, to be honest. But I think that with Skyrim Special Edition, especially if I played on the Xbox One, even though console modding is going to be a thing, this is my chance to actually play the game. This is my chance to play the base vanilla game of Skyrim and no longer really be a bit of a phony in making Elder Scrolls and Skyrim videos just because I have a channel that for so long was focused on Fallout and ergo Bethesda content. And I'm very happy to admit this to a lot of you now, because to be honest, it's not the greatest sin in the world. We are just talking about video games here. But it does mean that I actually am really excited for Skyrim Special Edition. It's given a new polish on the game in terms of its graphics, and also coming with all of the DLC. So I am excited to actually sit down and play through the game and quest. And to be honest, I'm going to put every other game up until Dishonored 2 comes out of the way, just so I can finish this. Just so when I actually make a video on Elder Scrolls, and when I make a video in Skyrim, and when I'm on the podcast talking about Elder Scrolls and Skyrim, I'm not just talking in my ass, that I actually know what I'm talking about. Because again, I know that I would be a fan of Elder Scrolls. It's such an interesting game, and I know enough about it to know that I'd actually love it, and that I'd be a hardcore fan. But I still don't really have any rights to call myself a fan, let alone to really make videos on it. So that's my mission, to actually play this game and at least put like 50 hours into it, at the very least. I work full time, I make videos, I run a YouTube channel, I have a girlfriend who lives a far distance away from me, I have other commitments too, but regardless, I'm going to try my best to fucking finish this game. I really am. And not just, speed through the main quest, but actually properly quest and do the side quests and also the DLCs. So anyways, what I'm saying is, let me know if you've ever gone through a similar experience to that. Let me know if you've ever been talking to a friend or talking to a group of people about a game that maybe you haven't played too much, but you've played once or twice, or maybe a very small amount of, and you kind of hidden the fact that you haven't really played that game. I'd be interested to know, because I'm sure that I'm not the only one out there, let alone I'm sure I'm not the only YouTuber out there, but I'm not too sure how many YouTubers would admit it. Not to say it's a bad thing, but it can be embarrassing. So anyways, Sanders, that's all from me. This has been The Lone Vault Wanderer. Please take care of yourself, and would you kindly keep fighting the good fight.